chill out, Barry. What the hell, man?
Yeah.
Why, put your shirt back on. What is this? It's the first half.
I know it's been a month, but
I waxed for this.
damn. I'm glad
Evidently
you
it
did.
wasn't the top, so
It's been so long.
did you get some anal bleaching at the same time?
It did.
Yeah.
It kind of burned a little bit.
Oh.
It has been a long time.
Long time.
So, we're waiting.
Large garbage bags that she was looking for.
All right.
Lots and lots has happened since the last time we sat at these microphones, gentlemen.
Quite a bit, personally, and just news-wise.
Stuff like
just
dudes
in
like
the
us go
world.
through.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of shit going on. So
We'll talk about it. We've got Jeff issues. We got Paul issues. We got trips to Colorado. We got whiskey festivals.
it's weird that Sean doesn't have any issues.
Oh, I forgot about the trip to Colorado. We haven't even.
Oh, that's
Oh, my
right.
we haven't had a trip since then. I mean,
God.
a podcast since then as well.
No,
Yeah.
that was forever.
Speaking of issues, I had issues on that trip.
You sure did.
Yes.
Yeah. Is your butt still okay?
Wow.
Well,
Wait.
it was reamed.
Something happened while I was sleeping?
No. No, not that
No,
I'm
that
aware
was-
of. I was on the top floor. You were the one.
I was down there in the basement by myself. You didn't. I think we have creatures that live down there.
You were down there with your power bars to sustain
So it's probably
you.
good because I was up most of the night. So it was
Oh.
probably
All right,
good that I was down there, not interrupting anyone.
We'll have to definitely talk about that.
All right. Well, April 17th, 2024. It has been over a month. I think it's 4 weeks or 5 weeks.
Might be.
I'm editing March 5th now. I've got one more, I think.
All right. So
So we're
about
about
4
a
weeks.
month. Yeah, it's been about a month, but it's been a hectic month.
busy,
Yeah.
busy.
We've got our producer, Mr. Austin, available. Dudes like us. I am Sean.
I'm Paul.
And I am Jeff.
And our producer is of age.
And he's not
Mm.
So
drinking.
he actually can participate in the tasting.
And he's not.
That's outrageous.
I know.
Yeah. Austin's not our producer. He's not really known for. I want to say known for drinking. I mean, he does drink, and when he does, God bless.
He's a wild, crazy man.
Oh man. So he's definitely a dudes like us. No, but he just turned 21, but he doesn't really drink that much. Like he doesn't really.
Right.
And congratulations.
Yeah.
That's a big birthday, man. Huge one.
And it's a big deal for me because he's now the 21. That's all my kids. That's the last one to hit 21.
So they're all
Ah.
legal. You can all
Yeah.
take them out to get.
It's a mouse.
drunk.
It's a
Well, I was
milestone.
thinking
legally.
more like, hey, can you go to the store and pick me up some stuff?
Ah.
Beers.
Now you have 4 options.
Oh, jeez. I'm seriously. It's kind of like when we get the call, we got to go. Total Wine calls. Hey, man, we got some stuff in here. Get over here quick. I'm going to be like,
Right.
dude, Austin, what are you doing?
Right.
Oh.
Who's the closest to Total Wine right
Yeah.
now?
Right.
So this is
They're all on Life 360, and you look at the dots and you figure out who's closest.
Single bearer is
Yeah.
available.
Yep, Madeline, that's you. Go.
Go.
Dad, I don't want to go.
Code 99.
Jesus. So where do we want to start this thing off? We want to start chronologically or just
Gosh, I don't even remember. Let's talk about the Colorado trip because that was early on, I think, wasn't it? That
Yeah.
was what, 3 weeks ago?
yeah.
Yep.
All right,
So-
so let me walk us through how that whole process happened. So we're having a St. Patty's Day party, right? I believe it was a St. Patty's Day party, and
Mhm.
we were having a good time at the Murphy house, and we were at the St. Patty's Day party, and now we had karaoke. A bunch of people came over. It was a throwdown.
I was sick, wasn't I?
You had butt herpes or
That's
something?
why.
See,
Yes.
you were already sick.
Yeah, I
heading
was
into
sick.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
right. I remember that.
So he missed out, but it was a great party. We had a good time,
It was
and
fun.
there was a little bit of a drama, but we don't have to talk about that. But I guess during that time, we had such a great time. My wife, Wes,
Ah,
Yeah.
yes. Okay.
excuse me. So, but my wife, we were having fun. She was drunk, and she was talking because Austin's best friend is moving to Colorado.
Yes, to Boulder.
Yeah. He and his girlfriend, Jacob and Evelyn, they're moving out to Colorado to live. They're having fun. They love it, and good for them. And Austin was like, I don't know how he got involved, but my wife was like, Sean will help you move. Because I guess they were talking with their little their challenge being able to get the U-Haul and like, oh, you know what, Sean will take care of that for you.
And you found out like the next morning. Oh, by the way, you're
By the
driving
way,
to Colorado.
and so I was kind of
You
like,
got to pick up the truck in like an hour. Go.
and look, part of me was kind of like, I can do this. This sounds like fun. And then I started really thinking. I was like, hold on, Paul his family has a cabin out there, and I was kind of like dot. And then something else that dudes like us are going to be talking about, and that's losing your job for whatever reason in the 50s. Jeff has experience. He's not at work right now, so he's laid off. And so he's available. Paul's laid off because he's available. So I was kind of connecting dots. It's like, you know what? Let's make this a dudes like us thing and go hang out at Paul's cabin up there. Wagon. Out there in Colorado.
Yeah.
And,
no, it was a great idea.
So, we drove out there. And
it was a great trip up there. Paul and I drove up there in your rental. I think you had a big-ass Expedition or something.
It was nice.
It was quite violently keeping you in your lane, though.
Yes,
I noticed that.
Yeah, if you don't turn that thing off, it will roll you.
Yeah, it was violently saying you need to stay in this lane.
Yeah,
I was like, damn, man,
wake up, bitch, wake up.
That's like a safety hazard.
Yeah, it almost was because it would cut over.
I love it, man.
Yeah,
because I'm watching Netflix or something like that. It's kind of like I veer off a little bit. I was like, hey, little buddy, get back in your lane.
This wasn't a nice, gentle nudge. It was I'm going to turn the wheel. Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do that, and it's alarming and it's startling, especially if you don't know it's there.
Right.
That feature's turned on because I rent cars a lot, and sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. And when it hits you, they all have their own different vibration.
Right.
And if you can anticipate that, and you know it's happening, it's not going to give you a heart attack.
Well, I mean, I'm sitting here like relaxing, just kind of making my lane change, and it's stopping me.
Right.
And I'm not used to cars smart like that. I have a freaking 2006 Jetta, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna overcorrect, and I'm gonna shoot us off the shoulder, right? I mean, it's crazy. Anyway, I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah, on the way up there, we ran into, it was just like I said, Paul and I, Sean was lucky enough to be in the U-Haul for 12 hours, so that was sure that was nice.
That was painful.
The air ride equipped.
Yes, with his
luxury
the thing about the U-Hauls,
luxury moving van.
I'm sure everyone out there has rented a U-Haul at some point in time in your lives, but the U-Haul, we got, a 16, 15, 18 foot or something like that. It wasn't a big one. It was one of the smallest ones they have, but it goes 75, all right? So when you step on the gas, you get to 75, and once you get to 75, if you continue to step on the gas, it's got this little eco meter on the left.
Yes.
And it's kind of like, it revs up, and it's kind of like, oh, my God, we're in the red. Oh, got to slow down, get it back in the green. And then the car kind of like stalls, and you just can hear the gas flying out the tailpipe as soon as you do that.
And do they have like a gas estimator? It's like 27, 28.
Oh, yeah.
470, 5,000.
Well, but the thing is that meter is going from red to green, it's so distracting. And then every time it gets in the red, you're kind of like, I'm a loser, But I keep thinking, because every time you'd stop and fill that fucking thing up, it's $100.
Yes.
Right.
And I mean, it just seemed like for a 12-hour trip, 13-hour trip, whatever it was, I don't remember. Maybe it was 10 and a half. I don't remember how long it was. It was a long time.
Yeah.
How long was it? Was it 10 and a half?
Well, it's
to Colorado Springs?
Well, we left.
Yes.
Well, it's a 2 hour 1 hour difference. Or was it 2 hour difference? 1 hour difference. We left at about 8:00, 8:30 ish.
So was I about an hour ahead of you?
About 6 o'clock. So it was about 10 and a half, 11 hours when we got to that bar.
Definitely to Colorado Springs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it wasn't bad. I was kind of cramped being in there in only drive. It wasn't bad. I enjoy driving like that.
Yeah, especially when there's a winter storm.
Yeah,
that was the other thing. It started. Well, first of all, we live in Texas, so we're not used to seeing snow. Period. So the fact that we get to be almost experiencing spring / summer right now, where it's hitting the 80s and getting up a little bit higher in the 80s sometimes, and just to leave Texas and be exposed to a different climate like that by itself, I was like, holy shit, that's fucking snow.
And it was. I mean, it was just happenstance. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't even think it's normal for Colorado this late to have winter storm warnings, but we rolled
they had blizzard warnings. They were
right
blizzard
into
warnings.
it.
Oh, yeah, we went right through it.
Yes.
That was crazy. So we powered through that. We met up at the restaurant in Colorado Springs. It was called The Hatch. Shout out to the folks at the Colorado Springs, The Hatch. And we ate there, tore it up, went to Walmart, bought some stuff, almost stole it.
We did.
Almost stole it.
We were so confused, and we were bickering amongst ourselves.
Yeah, we were through the...
We scanned everything, and then we just walked out.
Yeah, we got to the doors.
Right.
And then I think you were the one, Sean, said...
No, I said...
did we pay for that?
Did
I was
we
like,
pay for
no,
that?
did you pay for that? No. Oh my God! Make a run for it! Go, go, go!
That was fucked up because that was sincerely.
It was $100.
Well, I mean, not just that, but I honestly thought somebody else paid for that.
Right, and we went back, and it was sitting there going, "Okay, hello." The machine was like, "Are you going to pay me?"
The little attendant guy was like,
"Yeah, they were right on it, weren't they?"
Oh yeah, they had no idea what's going on.
No, they didn't, but
crazy. Anyway, that was funny.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have ever done that. I mean, I guess some people do it. I don't know. It's kind of crazy that we almost walked out with it. Can you imagine?
I've walked out before
3
with something
men
on the bottom that you forget every now and then.
Oh, yeah.
I've done that, but not a whole basket full of groceries.
Like walk away from the thing.
I scanned everything and just walked away. That's what we did.
Dude, the person working there would have totally botched. Had we gotten in the car and, like, driven away, like, and we're 30 minutes up the road, we wouldn't have gone back.
I would have been like, yeah, fuck it.
Right.
Yeah, but it had us all on video.
We're on a rental.
3 men in a rental.
3 white men.
Good Lord. Oh, my God.
Yes.
I'm so sick of it.
Yeah. So we
abuse.
Left. So we left, and it was about, a 2-hour trip from Colorado Springs to your cabin.
Yes.
And as we kept getting higher, Colorado Springs is around 4,000 or 5,000 feet, I think.
Yes.
And we've determined your cabin is over 10,000 feet.
It's actually at 10,000 feet, almost exactly.
Right. So I knew something was going sideways when we got close because I was not feeling well. And I was getting a headache at that point. And you got a rare snow up there from what you said.
Oh, my God.
It was a blizzard.
Yeah. I mean, there was snow.
We couldn't get into the driveway we normally get into because the snow was like 2 feet.
Yeah,
2 feet high.
Well, the plow would come by, and it would pile. What do they call that? The drift? What do they call that? The plow?
Yeah, the snow drift. I mean,
it's the plow
drift.
Plow.
Yeah, but exactly right. So as it speeds up and down the dirt roads up there.
Elevation in Colorado Springs is 6,000.
There you go.
Yeah,
it creates a wall of snow. And so that was our driveway, and we had to get over that. And then we tried to, and that didn't go well.
That didn't go well at all.
And so we bailed on that.
We had the big expedition. We put it in 4-wheel drive, and it was actually had a bunch of fancy features in there. But
yeah.
It was just too deep.
Well, then we went to the other driveway, and we're like, we can do this. Come on.
Let's do it.
Power through it. And then quickly we got to a
It was a fail.
It was.
And I was just like, fuck.
It's 11 o'clock at night. We're tired.
Oh, we're exhausted.
We had been driving for 15, 16 hours straight, pretty much.
So we get our shit. We trudge up to the cabin.
Carrying all our shit up there, 10,000 feet. Of course, we're not used to that. So
no.
Well, both Jeff and I are huffing and puffing. I'm just like, did you pack your defibrillator?
Even Paul was.
Got your oxygen?
Just a basketball player was huffing and puffing,
I was
too.
huffing and puffing. We had to get the cabin all started up and heated up and all that kind of stuff.
So that whole process is kind of cool. I mean, I don't think dudes like us around the planet understand the process. When you have when you live out remote like that, and you're not out there for a couple weeks or a month or however long it is,
a year,
you've got to when you're gone for an extended period, you got to prep the house because if freezing temperatures happen, well, you don't want your whole goddamn house pipes to burst.
That's right.
And have and then animals come in and then rots out, and you show up, a week or 2 or a month later or something like that, and shit's all right up. But my point is
the cougars living in your bedroom.
Walk us through some of the breakdown and startup. When you leave the house, when you go there, what do you got to do?
Yeah, I mean, so it's on well water, right? So the first thing you have to do, I mean, when we have left from the previous winter, we drain all the water.
It's apparently poisonous water as well.
It's got radon gas, yes. Radon, and that's normal for the mountains up there, I guess, is to have radon in the air that collects in the basement, like under the foundation.
The crawl space.
The crawl space, yes, thank you. So the first thing you got to do is turn on the fans to vent the radon gas. Then you got to turn on the well pump.
Right.
Then you have to close all the spigots, that you left open and to drain all the water from the previous time you were there.
Right.
And then it charges the system, right? The water there's a prepper tank that kind of loads up, and then it fills the hot water tank, and then finally water starts coming out of all the faucets, and you got to make sure you get all the air out of the lines, and then you can start shutting off faucets and stuff, right? And then you got wait for the water heater to heat up, and I mean it's not like it's not horrible, but you just you have to.
It's a process.
It's a process, right?
And I know the water heater. I think you burnt the rods or they corroded away, right?
So the water up there is so harsh. It's so hard water, right? With all the not chemicals, but
just minerals,
natural minerals, right? And I finally figured out, guys, we cannot be using these standard
elements,
heating
right.
elements. You got to use stainless steel,
right?
Which we have not been doing. So the next time I go up there, I'm bringing stainless steel heating elements. But yeah, they get corroded so fast, and so even though the tank, this is what it doesn't make sense to me. The tank is sitting empty, like most of the time. But I'll be damned if every single time I pull that heating element out, it's blown up.
Right.
So we don't have hot water, right? And
right.
So then that's frustrating. So anyway, but yeah, I got that resolved. We went down to the town and got new heating elements and put them in. And
yeah, that was the next day.
Yeah.
That night I didn't sleep very well. I slept okay up at night. I have terrible shoulders, and for whatever reason, my shoulders were keeping me awake that first night.
As you got progressively worse.
Oh yeah, well, I got progressively worse through that next day. Yeah, and but we made a run into the little town there.
Well, the first thing we had to do was call the fire department.
All right, so
we couldn't get the car out.
We get
That's
there.
Right.
We muscle through.
That's
getting
at midnight.
The whole,
got there.
Yeah, we get there. We get our luggage up there, and mind you, there's a blizzard. So I was kind of
we're tromping through snow.
Yeah, but for me, I had purchased from, I keep wanting to say Mervyn's. What is that store called? Kohl's. So they had a sale. They were like, "Hey, buy this jacket, 70% off. It's one that you'd wear in Alaska." And it's 70% off because we're here in Texas.
Texas, you'll never
so
wear it.
I was like,
never.
I bought it because I'm stupid. I'm like, I walked in there and I was like, 70% off. I got to get this. So I get it. And it turns out, man, it came in clutch.
It was clutch, yeah.
Well, and wasn't your wife giving you shit like, why would you buy that?
She was giving me such a
You're
hard
never
time.
going to use that, ever.
Oh,
and
dude,
that
jacket was the warmest thing that I've ever worn in my entire life.
It was like a
/ever.
A burqa? But no, not a burqa.
No, it had the big furred.
Yeah, what do you call that?
I have no idea.
Hood. Yeah, I was cold as balls,
No.
man.
I
was not prepared.
You were
cold.
unprepared to be out there with your fucking Levi's leather jacket.
Yep.
Fucking Fonzarelli out there.
Dude,
yeah.
In the morning.
I was not prepared.
Every morning we woke up, it was 9 degrees.
His single ply leather boots.
Yeah, well, it got up to
like,
45?
It got up. Well, no, I don't.
Yeah,
I
was not prepared.
It was in the 30s, maybe as high as 40. But when we woke up every morning, it was 9,
it was cold.
10.
Yeah.
It was 5
It
degrees.
was cold.
4 degrees.
Yeah.
But, I got to say, being up in Colorado, where's this Fairplay? It's close to Fairplay, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty close to Fairplay. So it's out there a ways, and it's remote, and there's
by
beautiful.
South Park, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the snow.
It's so beautiful.
Oh, the snow was amazing. The whole valley was covered in
Oh,
snow.
yeah. It
And
was pretty.
we don't see snow very often.
Yeah,
up
the
there.
trip out
That's
there,
atypical.
seeing the snow piled up on the tree branches was
cool.
beautiful. It was
Especially driving
majestic.
into town.
It was so majestic.
When we drove into town,
Yeah.
to take
Oh
you down
yeah,
to,
it
to
looked like
Denver.
what's the guy's name that makes all the white movies? Jim Burton or
White movies.
Yeah, like
Yeah, the white movies.
Planes, Trains,
White
Automobiles.
movies.
You talking about the skinhead movies?
No, the store.
Nazi movies? World War II?
Well, I'm just saying, like what Molly,
Like Boys in the Hood?
like what Molly Greenwald would say. What is? Did you guys hear the story about Molly?
Yeah, John Hughes. Yeah,
Yeah.
my movies were too white.
Yes, that's kind of
Yes.
what I was driving at.
Yes.
Really? They called his
No,
movies too white?
she did.
She had an interview.
Molly Wingwald did?
Yes.
Yeah.
She
There was
goes-
Talk about biting the hand that fed you.
She's like,
Yes.
they're too white. It's problematic that they were too white.
Yeah, I'm thankful or something. I don't even know.
Oh
Actually,
my
I don't even know if
gosh,
she said
That's
that.
so crazy.
She's just
Meaning
trying
they
to-
had no black actors in it.
She's trying to appeal to the progressives
Yeah,
today.
she wants
Oh.
work. That's all she wants. She
Right.
wants work, so she's putting herself out there in the middle of an interview saying that she's follows the diversity, equity, inclusion kind of process.
I got
And
you.
it's disgusting.
All right, so
it-
you're saying driving through the mountains, you thought you were in a Hugh, what was his name?
John Hughes.
Yeah,
John
that-
Hughes movie.
Yeah, I was like in a John Hughes movie. It was because it was cliche, perfect, clean, and
Yes.
just
It was pretty,
perfect.
man.
I felt like
Yeah.
shit, so I didn't enjoy it at all.
Yeah, you were like,
Yeah, I felt bad for
you were
you, man.
panting out the
I didn't
window.
really know. Part of me was
It
kind of
was.
like, actually, none of me was feeling like that. I just felt bad for you because even
it was
sitting down there
bad.
the first day, and I was just kind of like, I so wanted to get some beer out, and I looked over at Jeff, and he's just like,
Kill me. Kill me.
Jeff is not here.
Well,
What's that guy's name?
There is no Jeff, only Zool.
Yeah, only Zool.
Right.
Well, and what sucked about it is like we were poised to have some fun.
Oh yeah, I was going up there prepared for it, but man, that fucking thing hit me, and that second night it did me in.
I know you were miserable.
I didn't sleep.
So
I
then we
slept-
were like, okay, we need
So
to
that-
evac.
But
Yeah.
I think you had more going on. I think altitude sickness had a little influence.
well, I
on
was
that.
sick going up there.
Yeah,
I
but
was still
not you weren't
recovering.
nauseous.
I think it exasperated what you already had.
I think so. Yeah, I was puking that night before.
Because that's not part of the normal sickness that you had.
No,
So
that's
that had to
that's
be.
the altitude sickness, the puking, but the breathing. I was having trouble breathing. The whole
Well,
9
look,
yards. I had all of it.
But here's, man, look, we got to do it again. I want you up there. No homo. We got to go on the Sean Paul Rock, and you got to join us up there.
that was pretty cool. Anyway, but we
Oh,
have,
he doesn't want to talk about it.
but hold on, but we have to stop in Colorado Springs
Well, you have to
and
acclimate.
overnight.
Well, they say. Well, I was doing the research when I was wide awake at 3 a.m. puking.
God.
It
Awful.
says it kicks in at about 8,000 feet, and you're supposed to every 1,000 to 1,500 feet. You're supposed to stop for a day or two to acclimate. So I don't know how you do that.
That's a lot of stopping.
Yes, well, that's what they say. If you get this, that's how you combat it.
How your body gets
How
acclimated.
your body gets acclimated. So stopping in Colorado Springs wouldn't really help.
No, not unless you're there for. Well, no, because you got to go up higher.
Yeah, you got to go up higher and stop, let your body get used to it,
How
and keep
bizarre.
going.
How bizarre.
So and
All right, well then, if we're going to be there for like a week or 4 or 5 days, you have to go out there 6 weeks in advance. And you
yeah,
just
it
have
was
to,
terrible, man. I felt that second day, or was the third day, whatever the fuck it was. I felt so bad that I left. I was like,
Well,
I
that's
gotta
what
go.
we were like. Okay, dude, you need to fly home.
I gotta go,
like,
man.
and
so
you
you
did.
did.
Yeah.
So I mean, we got to come up with a remedy for that. And I know one of it is staying at a lower altitude than coming up, but I'm thinking that if you're 100%, meaning you're not ill, don't have any lung shit going on, I'm thinking it may be doable. It may be doable, but we got to have the.
What about those divers that get the bends, right?
It's the same.
That's
well,
for nitrogen.
It's not the same thing, but
Well, what
it's-
if we buy some big iron lung
I was
looking
gonna say,
thing?
do you have an iron lung
yeah,
up there?
we put you in the iron lung
I could
for,
be in it for
8 hours.
70
Yeah.
years, like
So-
that guy.
It's
Well,
kind of like being in
no.
an airplane.
No, when you get the bends, you're not in there for 70 years.
Well, that guy was in the iron lung for 70 years.
Well, well, he
yeah,
was-
it's not an iron lung. You're in the, when you get the bends, you're in like a decompression chamber for
he
like
wasn't,
72
yeah,
hours.
he wasn't a diver. He was a person that had lungs that didn't work. But when you do get the bends, they put you in like an iron
He
lung
was in
looking
an iron
thing.
lung. Didn't he just recently die?
Yeah,
He did.
He was the longest person ever in the iron lung.
Good Lord.
70 years
I wonder if he had sex.
Ugh.
with himself, maybe.
Was he ever allowed to get out of the thing?
How would you clean that inside? It was just like just there.
God. Well, they had little ports.
Well, I'm sure he shit. How would they take care of that?
Yeah,
It's like a bidet.
I was going to say they're
Do
not
they have tubes?
they're not in the iron lung like forever. I mean, not forever. But they are in there forever, but they can get out of it for a little while to go
But-
to.
What if he
Can't
can't?
they?
What if he can't breathe?
So that's a whole body thing.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
yeah,
that
he
looks
was-
so awful.
He was in there for 70
He's like
years.
in a huge water heater.
It's like a big.
So really, how did he go to the bathroom in there?
That's what I mean. Did they?
We need you to
Well,
look
they've-
that up, Mr. Producer. How does somebody in an iron lung go to the bathroom? That's our first.
Whoever.
That's our
let's-
first Google
Let's
search.
see who's ever Googled that before.
Well, I see there's holes on the side where you can reach in with a
And do what?
well, you put your hands. Well, you got to clean them, probably sponge baths.
Oh,
and,
okay.
You know, he may roll over and you swipe his bottom, and you
It
know,
rotates.
I don't really know. I mean, I'm speculating.
Well, maybe he got a handy every once in a while.
Well, his hands are down there. I'm sure he can.
Nah, I think when you're in the iron lung, somebody else should do it for you.
Oh,
That's my thought.
yeah.
Can't you? He's earned that right, don't you think?
Yeah. So you think the inside of that tube is just like you don't want to take a black light to it? Just
As I said, he's just sprayed it.
oh, it's like
okay.
it's like
It's
a
got
pol-
stalactites.
it's a
But you know what?
polymer.
Apparently, this dude had a pretty damn good attitude about the whole thing. I would have been like, put me down. I don't want to live my whole life in an iron lung. But
Well-
he apparently was like, had some really positive things to say about his life and how he made a difference and he was an inspiration for somebody. I don't know.
Oh, there it says. It says that the front of it actually comes out, like slides out,
Okay.
exposing the patient's body. He is lifted up by a nurse, and
It went away.
the bedpan is cleaned, I think is what it said. It says he is lifted up by a nurse, and the bedpan is slid under him. The iron lung is then closed where it resumes breathing. Procedure is repeated to remove the pan. So basically he has to say, I have to poop.
Right.
And then they put the pan, they open him up, put the pan, close him up, and when he's done, they open it back up.
What did his day consist of? I mean,
Maybe you watched a lot of Johnny Carson.
I think you just watch TV all the time.
Well, I mean,
Fuck, I don't know.
I think he was able to.
Maybe he read a book.
You know how like people in the chairs, they're like quadriplegics. They can like double click with their eyes and shit, and then they can do computer stuff.
Well, he could use his hands, couldn't he? Couldn't they put the keyboard and the mouse in there?
Oh shit! I didn't see any arms sticking out of there. I just saw his head.
Well,
sticking
no,
out.
that'd be all inside.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, could he even move?
Holy shit! Look at that picture there. There's a girl coming out of the tube. No. Go back or right there to the right.
What?
A little bit more to the right. Right there. No, to the right. Left.
That
one.
right there. Why is there a person?
Yeah,
oh, it's a mirror.
Oh, it's a mirror. Oh. I was like, he's got a little buddy inside there with him.
Oh, that's awful. So he was the last person in an iron lung. So why couldn't they transition him to something that's better technology?
Maybe his body was just so decayed away. They're like,
we can't.
Why?
Yeah, I think they
could have pulled off a Darth Vader, just kind of.
Well, you've been in here, let's say 50 years. Your body would be wasted to nothing.
I would just think that there's something, or maybe he didn't want to. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, he was there. He was there as a kid. That's all he's known.
His Aetna plan didn't cover it.
He's a kid.
That's all he has known. So it's like this is what it is.
It's crazy.
He accepted it.
Anyway, going back to our story, we need to put you in one of those things, and then you'll be fine.
An iron lung, yes. Hook me to the trailer, to the hitch that we know is there now, and I'm like behind you.
Well, my point
pulled.
is, we would want you to go. So we basically woke up on Tuesday morning, and you're just like, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I've got a flight. Here we go. We're going, and I was like, we're going now. We're not going later. We're going now. Let's get this out of the way.
It was an evac moment, man.
Yeah. So let's get you to safety. And frankly, after you got down to Colorado Springs, you already started to feel better.
100%.
I mean,
no, we went to Denver.
Yeah,
Denver.
100%.
Yeah.
I felt 90% better. I still had a headache. 90% better by the time we got to the airport.
Yeah, you were out of the danger zone, like feeling like you were going to die.
Oh, I did, man. It was so bad. It was so bad. I've had it before at my dad's, but not to that degree.
Yeah.
Not to that degree.
But the sad thing about the whole thing, so you get on a plane, you fly home, and then Sean and I, we ate or whatever, went back to the cabin.
And you're sending us all these homo pictures.
Oh, no, we weren't.
We were fagging out.
Yes, you were.
Look,
yes,
we
you
were singing. What were we singing?
Air Supply.
On.
We have to face the music
Take
here.
it back.
The Carpenters with a big penis right there.
Wait a second. There's
Actually,
nothing wrong with that part. That part was fine. We were singing Karen Carpenter. She's
with
fantastic.
a big penis.
Okay.
And she is an amazing
I
drummer.
think our listeners out there need a little bit more context because
They do need
they're getting distracted because you keep using the word penis.
Yeah. No, we were watching. Okay, so we got into we had been drinking, and keep in mind we did it. When you're drinking at 10,000 feet.
Yeah, but I was drinking
start to
bourbon
act
and
weird.
hot tea, which was the best drink
This
ever.
is
my
the best
God.
drink ever, man.
You and your bourbon and hot tea.
This one has lemon.
Yes. And every 5 minutes, I think I found the perfect drink.
And I was just like, that sounds gross to me.
It did. It sounded awful. He was like, try it. I was like,
Shut
no,
up, Zool.
I'm good.
You don't know
anyway,
me.
so we just we started making a joke out of it. We started playing who were the gayest videos we can watch.
Well, you found them.
Karen, and it was music, right? We were looking for music
Well, hold
videos.
on. The premise wasn't trying to find the gay, or was it?
Well, we were trying to top each other with like Barry Manilow and Karen Carpenter, and we tried to find like what we would like get dogged for.
Olivia Newton-John.
Yes, Olivia Newton-John. Anyway, we stumbled on a Karen Carpenter.
But how did it start? We were watching the Barry Gibb movie. That's how
it started.
it started.
Watching the women's basketball.
Yeah, we started watching the Iowa.
Nothing wrong with that. That was Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, she's so awesome.
She is amazing, and I want to talk more about that later because there's so much we can talk about.
A lot of pushback. Well, we can touch talk about some of that now. They come back.
Well,
we're talking about Karen Carpenter.
Let's get through the Colorado trip.
Yeah.
But we didn't hit Karen Carpenter until after the basketball.
That's true. All right. So we were channeling some feminine energy, I guess, by watching the women's basketball.
Well, let's talk about that because that's a big deal.
You two had your tampons in.
But hey, look, at this point we were all still there together. So I just want to say, look, Caitlin Clark has brought a spark into the women's college basketball and the WNBA. That's just like
I'm going to go out and say that she's
incredible.
She has put it on the map for men. That has not happened before.
Well, I wonder how she's going to do the WNBA.
I think she's going to excel.
I think she will too. But look, here's the other thing. Well, first of all, she's got tons of followers now. And the little kids that are following her. She's become a mentor, and the people look up to her. But like you had mentioned earlier in the green room, Jeff, you said that the viewership of the women's college basketball was more succeeded the men's.
Yes, the women's championship.
That's
game,
crazy.
Viewership dwarfed the men's championship.
Well, she ended
game.
up losing too to South Carolina. South Carolina looks strong.
They look good. They look really good.
Yeah.
And it was a great game.
So did she lose final?
Yeah,
she did.
Okay.
And then she got drafted number 1 to the WNBA.
Indiana.
They're only going to make $75,000 a year.
What the fuck they called? Indiana,
it was 300 Indiana Fever.
Indiana
so she
Fever,
she got paid $338,000 over 4 years, which ended up being like you said
75 or something like that.
And so everybody was like, "That's outrageous! The number 1 pick of the men's draft makes $55 million a year, and she's only making." I mean, come on, guys. It's a business. They're losing money. The NBA subsidizes it. That's the only reason why it's afloat.
But this could be the catalyst.
It could.
And look, she's getting also all kinds of things. She's getting huge endorsements.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
So it's not like she's not making money. She wore a $15,000 Prada outfit to the, whatever they call it, the draft.
The draft, yeah.
It was crazy.
Let me tell you something really crazy. So all the people that were playing the Indiana Fever, right? When they're hosting the Indiana Fever, they're moving their games to a bigger venue.
That's good.
That's
just grasp that. Because Caitlin Clark is going to be playing for the Indiana Fever, when they play whatever their team is, they're moving it from like a 13,000 stadium to an 18,000 stadium because they know it's going to be sold out.
I think all these ladies
on the road. I'm talking about on the road, not at home.
They're going to be gunning for her, though.
Oh, they are. They are. And I'm worried that, not worried, that's not the right word. I would be interested to see if the interest wanes.
I think it will.
And then everybody's just going to go back to, she's in the WNBA.
I think it will.
She's not scoring 30 points a game.
I don't think she's going to dominate in the pros like she did in college.
She won't. She won't.
Well, we don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Most usually that doesn't happen.
But this is something that has never happened.
But I think
a single woman.
I think she's going to have a following, and
big time.
She will. But I think the attention span of the sports fan will go away pretty quick. I think the first few games, maybe a couple months.
I'm interested in seeing the first couple Indiana Fever games. I'm not going to lie. I was actually hooked onto this thing before the playoffs, the postseason tournament started. Because I had heard it started dominating the news where she was taking 25-footers, 28-footers, 30-footers. Nobody does that. I mean, shit, there's only a couple guys in the NBA that'll shoot from that distance. And I was like, okay, is this for real? And then I started watching some of her games, and I was like, holy shit, she is launching them from the freaking logo. So anyway, I was hooked, and then I was kind of telling you guys, you need to see her. Remember?
Yes.
All right.
And that's why we watched her.
And that's why we watched her in Colorado.
We watched her. And it was entertaining because and I think it was you, Paul, that said it, because there's lots of errors, lots of ladies on the floor, lots of sloppy basketball. But what I think is important is I think the basketball fundamentals.
Yes, it's better team basketball.
Are there, whereas the guys are all about flashy slam dunks.
Yep. Alley-oop dunks, isolation, 1-on-2, 1-on-3.
And they don't do that in the ladies.
They play team basketball.
It's quite a bit more than the men's.
Agreed.
Again, I think it's sloppier.
It is. Their athleticism's not where the men are. I mean, come on, we know that.
Right. So,
I mean, and until transgender guys get into the WNBA.
Well, the South Carolina coach says, welcome.
Oh, that's going to be a nightmare. They can't do it. They
No.
can't do it.
Has the NCAA come out and supported that? Or have they reversed it? I know they did for the swimming for a little bit, but I thought they reversed it.
I think they're kind of staying low low key on it.
I know the NAIA has come out and says
no,
you're not competing.
I think the NCAA has kind of gotten themselves into a pickle, right? A rock and a hard place.
Right.
They can't. They know it wouldn't be a good idea, but they can't say no because then they're going to get the mob on them.
Fuck the mob.
I know. I agree.
But be like, fuck it.
People are terrified, so I get
stupid.
it. Anyway, so that was a fascinating thing. We watched that, and and again that led into the Karen Carpenter.
Yeah.
No. What's next?
So Jeff was kind of like, guys, stop it, guys. I was with Julie and we were watching this show and it made me so we ended up watching the Barry Gibb documentary.
Those Bee Gees.
Well, the Bee Gees documentary, which was fascinating. It really was.
Yes.
It was fascinating because you see these guys and you hear their songs, but you don't really hear the backstory of all the. I mean, these guys are siblings, know, and it's just this is a real life thing. And granted,
what a great story! There was so much I did not know so much about the history. First, I didn't know they were Australian because everybody thought they were British.
Well, they are British. They lived in Australia when they first started.
Ooh, right. Well, let me put it this way: I didn't know they had any Australian upbringing.
Correct.
Right. And then the fact that they went soprano way late in their careers.
Oh, falsetto.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Well, that didn't happen until the mid to late 70s.
The disco season.
Yeah.
Or
that producer said, we need a falsetto. Who can do it? Then Barry's like, I think I can do it. He went out there and did it, and everyone was like, holy shit.
It rocketed them to even further stardom.
Yeah.
Because they were already popular.
Well, they went up and down and up and down and up and down.
Right.
A couple times through their career. From like the 60s. They got huge, completely different sound.
Yeah.
When they first started, through the 70s, they had a different sound, and then they went away. Then they came back with the whole disco thing, and they were huge for several years. And then the whole death of disco.
Yes.
That whole fucking thing.
I had never heard with that psycho.
That's
DJ,
a DJ. Yeah.
DJ did a kill your disco or whatever after a baseball game.
It was after a
Chicago.
White Sox, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How bizarre.
Yep.
It reminded me of when the Dixie Chicks. Remember when they dogged George Bush and everybody brought their disc to something and a bulldozer ran over them or something crazy like that?
Well,
it was kind of like that.
They did that, and
it literally killed disco.
Yeah, it did. It
did. And it was,
And that's not just that. Disco got oversaturated.
Yes.
Everything was disco.
It was grinding metal.
And if you remember the guy who owned, Studio 54 or whatever it was, one of the big clubs in New York, said that commercialization, capitalism ruined disco because
everybody wanted it.
And they showed Disco Duck, and they showed these stupid disco things.
That was really stupid.
Right. So they said once it got to that point, it got oversaturated. It killed it. And then this thing was kind of cherry on top. This whole death to disco, blowing up the records thing, was the final nail in the coffin. And then the Bee Gees were shunned.
They were.
But
they made a comeback when they started writing music for other people.
Yeah,
and they had an album with what's her name?
Barbra Streisand.
Yeah.
Came out and contacted Barry Gibb, and because she loved him, and
kind of re pulled him out of a tailspin.
It did a reboot of what they got. She was like, "Hey, look, I want you to write the songs for her album
and sing it to me all night
Guilty.
long."
Wasn't the Guilty album?
Guilty, and it worked out.
I've actually never heard that music.
That's good music.
Oh yeah,
I need to.
I know you're not a Babs fan, but that's good music.
Yeah,
because it's Bee Gee music.
Anyway, so it comes to a close, right? And they've had lots of tragedy in that family.
What kind of fool tears it apart?
Wow,
leaving me pain and sorrow.
Producer, you can kill his mic anytime you want.
Wondering how, where will I be tomorrow?
So anyway, they've had lots of tragedy, right? And then the brothers started dropping dead one at a time.
Yeah.
And then, Shelly, we finished watching it, and Shelly texted me, "Hey, what are you guys doing? You guys having fun?" I go, "Yeah, we're all getting weepy watching the end of this."
The Bee Gees.
We were all getting weepy, man. It's hard not to.
Right.
When you hear what he says at the end.
One of the very last things Barry says is that he give it all up to spend more time with his
just to have his brothers back.
He goes, "We had all the number ones and all the success." He goes, "I'd give that all up to just to have them back."
Right. It was,
and everyone's bottom lip started quivering.
Yeah, I know. I was like, can you put on Star Wars or something? It was bad. I was seriously, I was getting weepy, and Shelley was like, really? Anyway, it was great. And then I think that led into what?
I don't know what
Karen
happened.
Carpenter.
That may have been it for me that
Well,
night.
yeah, because you left.
Hey, before we jump into the Karen Carpenter thing, because we went to bed that.
Yeah, because we need to explain the penis comment.
So, but we need to talk about our drink tonight because I'm working on my 10th glass here.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like drinking iced tea.
Yeah, it is. It's like flavored water.
Especially compared to our last drink.
Well, let's see. You want me to? All right, you have it pulled up, Mr. Producer. All right, this is Redemption.
Redemption bourbon.
Redemption bourbon.
Yeah. The thing about Redemption bourbon, first of all, it's super sweet.
This is a pre-prohibition whiskey.
Brown sugar, maple. I mean,
Lots
it's
of
super.
vanilla.
It's so yes.
Lots of vanilla.
It's 88 proof.
It is so easy to drink. I could seriously.
That's like your 8th glass.
Yeah.
I mean, you could literally take this and put it in a freezer. And when it comes out, you can it'd be an ice cream.
It's 75% corn, 21% rye, and
say it again.
4% barley.
How much corn?
75, which is already going to make it sweet.
Yeah,
that's a really high corn. And then it's 21% rye and 4% barley, and it's aged. It doesn't say how long.
It's
probably 4 years.
It's thick. It's viscousy, man.
It is.
Redemption.
It tastes good. It's just it goes away really fast.
Yeah, it didn't last.
It is.
That's because it's watered down.
It is.
It is really tasty though.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'll be honest. I'm always honest. This sits well with me. The problem with
even though it's 88 proof.
Well, that's the problem. So the problem with me being 88 proof is that I can literally drink it.
But you could just drink the whole bottle.
Yeah,
I can easily.
You're on your 4th glass, so it's going to hit you.
That's the other problem.
It's going to hit you.
So that even at 88 proof, if you drink for it, it's still going to hit you. You know, it's just going to hit you differently.
So for our listeners, there's not going to be a second podcast. Well, there might be. It's just going to be Jeff and I. Yeah.
No, the Redemption stuff is good.
It's good. Yeah.
It's just compared to what we had in the green room.
Yeah, seriously.
So we had Tawahaka.
Yeah, that was jet fuel.
We had Tawahaka. So Tawahaka is made out of Palestine, Texas.
Right.
And they typically you take it. It's very fruity. It's got some orange in there. As not the one we had because you guys couldn't taste that. But based on the 90 proof version that they have, the 100 proof version, you could taste a lot of those notes. Actually, you could taste all that in the 40. The 144 proof that we drank tonight. Oh my God, it was so tasty. For me, it was super tasty. It was hot.
It was very, very
super
good.
Rich, but it was like taking a blowtorch and firing it into your mouth.
Yeah,
I didn't get that at all.
No, it's very flavorful. It wasn't as hot as that, but there was some spice to it. Wasn't a lot of alcohol burn.
Yeah, there wasn't. I tell you, if it was a blind taste testing, and they were to say, I would not have said that's 144 proof.
I got you.
I would say,
there's no way.
Well, because we've had some 110s where it's like, fuck, man, that's hot.
Yes, that's true.
Right?
That is true.
For 144, it was good.
It's very rich.
I give this Redemption a 7.7.
Oh wow,
really?
That's really high for you.
It is.
I think may get him back on the 90 proofers.
No.
Well,
No.
Maybe.
No.
Yeah.
The problem, again, I'm going to tell you, the problem for me with this is I can drink it.
And you don't want to be able to drink it?
He doesn't want to drink it like tea.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to drink. It's like drinking a pop or something.
It's like the old days where you're like, I'm going to make a drink. And it's the whole cup of it.
Glug, 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 glug.
I only had one drink tonight.
Yeah.
That's before the sleep apnea machines came out.
I had 2 drinks. Yeah, but it was a 44 ounce, and you put a whole bottle in there.
At 88 proof.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is good. I'm actually not going to go above a 7 on it. I'm going to say 6.8 on this one.
I think I'm right with Paul. It's very tasty. The proof, it just disappears way too fast for me.
Yeah,
but it has a really good flavor. I'll go 7. Just because it has a really good flavor. It's gone in like 2 seconds though.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't
I'm
know.
counting.
What's the price point?
I'm on 10 seconds.
Probably $35-$40.
I'm on 15 seconds.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with
$45 bucks.
Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that price point.
I'd recommend that.
All right, so look, for those folks out there that are just starting bourbons, look, this is a starter. I mean, look, this could be a finisher.
If you're a beginner drinker.
No, look, there's a lot of people out there that say, "Hey,
this is what we were drinking."
What would you recommend? What would you recommend? And typically,
Tawahaka 144.
No, we would not. We would say something like
start and end right away.
We would start like with 9 Banded. Something weeded. Essentially, what would say is something weeded. A weeded bourbon.
Black powder.
What's that weeded?
I don't know.
I don't recall if that was black powder was weeded. But my point is that we would start with something weeded, and we'd slowly transition into some
and you're talking about shippers, not mixers, right?
Yeah. Well, the weeded. Well, true. But the weeded you could drink.
This would probably be good at an old fashioned.
Oh, it'd be great.
Yeah.
But I learned.
Whatever.
We'll talk more about this later. I just came back from Kentucky. I learned so much, and one of them is I'm changing my attitude. I'm changing my attitude about what I was calling mixers before, because they're not. For most of the world, those are sippers. Mixers are what I call mixers. They are sipping.
Right.
And I'm like, damn, maybe I've been, that's something you mix with Coke. Oh my God, yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
Anyway.
But for us, it's true, and I don't care.
Good.
I don't care what they say. I don't care because I really love the hell out of that. Those like the Rumble 140, 144, whatever it is. Oh my God, it is fantastic.
Yeah. They don't make it anymore.
They don't, and I've only got 5/8 of a bottle left, and I'm done. And I don't know where else to get a 40.
That's 7/16 a bottle.
It's a little over half a bottle.
Yeah,
close to 5/8.
So this is MGP, and it's aged no less than 2 years. So it's about 2 years old.
Okay.
And it's MGP.
And so this is part of what I learned. See how it says straight bourbon whiskey? To be called a straight whiskey, it has to be aged at least 2 years. To be called a Kentucky straight whiskey, it has to be distilled in Kentucky for at least a year. But if it's straight, it's going to be 2 years, right? I mean, aged for a year. And obviously you guys know the rules about bourbon,
right?
So anyway, I learned a lot, a little more.
Now, hold on, we know the rules about bourbon, but our dudes, some of those dudes like us, just need to be reminded. Not that they don't know, but sometimes they need to be reminded.
Right. So it's actually 3 sets of rules. When it's a Kentucky straight bourbon, there's 3 sets of rules that it has to apply to it, right? First, to be a bourbon, we already know 51% corn. It has to be distilled in the United States, not Kentucky. In the United States, anywhere in the United States, it can be a bourbon. And it has to be in a new oak barrel. Like we know all that. It has to go into the barrel no more than 125 proof. It cannot come into the bottle at any less than 80 proof, right? Those are all the rules to be a bourbon. So straight to be because you can have a straight whiskey, a Kentucky straight whiskey that's not a bourbon, right? To be a straight whiskey, it has to be aged at least 2 years. And then to be a Kentucky straight whiskey, it has to be aged in a barrel for at least a year in Kentucky. So that's why it's 3 sets of rules to be a Kentucky straight bourbon. But bourbon takes care of most of those rules. Does that make sense?
Is a Kentucky bourbon necessarily better?
No, I think it's.
I know bourbon started in Kentucky.
Yes.
I think that's why, right? Just like we're big on Texas barbecue, the Kentucky bourbon, and I understand that and everything, but that doesn't necessarily make it better.
Oh no, absolutely not, absolutely not. It's just it is, I think, a climate that lends itself very well.
It does, and the water.
Yes, and the limestone water.
Correct.
That's correct.
Correct.
The limestone water, because distilleries here, at least 1845, is using reverse osmosis water, which is nothing wrong with that, right? So limestone. The thing about limestone water is it naturally filters out iron and brings calcium and magnesium naturally to the flavor, right?
What about turmeric?
Turmeric?
Who's that?
Yeah, who is that? Well, King Turmeric was back in the 1400s. Jackasses. Turmeric is not part of this. Anyway, it's interesting because Tennessee's the same way. Jack Daniels built his distillery on a limestone a limestone deal.
They refuse to call it bourbon.
They do, even though it qualifies as a bourbon.
Yep.
They're
want
like,
to be a Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah, Kentucky can call it whatever they want. We're a Tennessee whiskey.
Right.
And they call it, there's no E, or there is the E. Which is it? Let's see. Kentucky has the E in whiskey. Tennessee does not have the E. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I knew there was two different spellings, but I didn't know that.
So Tennessee has no
hold on,
E
hold
in
on,
the word
stop,
whiskey.
stop.
Yes.
What? So what were those two spellings you think? They hate two spellings. What? So how?
Whiskey with an E.
Yeah, I know. But I
Without
want to
an E.
hear him. What was the first version and what's the second version?
Whiskey with an E.
Yes.
SK.
Oh, so you don't know which one was which?
Well, I didn't know that there was a difference between Kentucky and Tennessee. I knew there were two different spellings of it.
Right.
I didn't realize one
That
was
is-
specific to
but did they-
Tennessee, one was specific
But
to
did they tell
Kentucky.
you why?
I think from what I have, well, there's the story, right? But oh no, that's country.
Why
music.
is there an E in whiskey and why is there not an E in whiskey?
right? And
That's the
I
question.
think it's
to
I
E
think,
or not to E?
right? I think Tennessee wanted to differentiate. Oh, I mean, Tennessee and Kentucky have this thing.
Oh, so the Tennessee having so many E's, they probably wanted the extra E. They're like,
No,
just
no,
throw an E in there.
I think it's the opposite. Tennessee does
Jesus.
not have an E.
No,
We're sick of the E's. We don't want E's.
No, it said Tennessee whiskey had the E.
Is that what it says?
Well, that's
There
what,
it is.
well,
All right, there are two variants of
Babylonians
how-
in Mesopotamia.
Oh, wow. Should we have theme music going on there?
Is that King Turmeric?
Bom, 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 bom,
And
bom.
there's Gaelic
there
word
are two
Weezig Breathe.
There are two variants of how we in the
Ushkiba.
modern world
Oh, good Lord.
spell whiskey. One with an E and one without. But what we can learn from this E, if I were to pick up a bottle labeled only whiskey with an E, what would be the appearance of that subtitle? E, tell me. To begin with, it tells me that the particular whiskey has originated in either America or Ireland.
So Tennessee has nothing to do with it.
Oh.
Well, it does because of Dickel. Dickel's in Tennessee. So
Well, you said Jack Daniels.
I did. But I was obviously wrong. So it says,
What about
with
Chattanooga?
with the exception of American brands, George Dickel, Maker's Mark, and Old Forester,
I hope we're recording this.
they
Can you give me the little soundbite?
they have an E.
Hold on.
Interesting. That's not what they. Scroll
When you
down
said I
because
was
I think
wrong?
I think it's more than that.
I want that soundbite.
Well, what also
Scroll
says
down a little.
it says the word.
Dude,
it says-
everything I say on this podcast is wrong. Are you kidding me?
It says the word whiskey comes from the Gaelic word ushkiba.
Oh, ushkebab. Yeah, of course. Of course it is, Jeff.
Ushkiba, meaning water of life.
Can you scroll down, Mr. Producer? Because I know it has blended into something. There we go. Something about Tennessee. Blah, blah,
Because
blah.
they have a bunch of E's in their name.
Oh, my God. Okay, I'm wrong. Fine, whatever. I don't have the
Well,
patience.
you need to go back to who told you that and said you're wrong.
Well, okay, first off, no one told me that on
This
the,
is
Spit in their
Scottish.
face.
no one told me that when I did the Bourbon Trail this past
Oh,
weekend.
did you
Oh,
just make
stop,
that
stop.
up?
No. Oh, I went to the Bourbon Trail.
You know, when you've gone through the Bourbon Trail, guys.
So many times. This is what-
All right,
first off,
so
it's life
we ended
changing.
up watching the Bee Gees movie, and then
we all wept
got
together.
We wept.
we
held each other.
we got triggered. Then we ended up taking you to the airport the next day. First
Right.
thing, we're like, oh, you got to go. Then when we got back, Paul and I started drinking, and we're like, hey, what you want to drink? I think it's time we drank because Jeff's
You know
gone.
what it was? We were playing the music game. You know how everybody, you got the next song. Okay, it's got to be something like the last song. You get the next song. And we said we're going to do it with videos only.
yes.
And that started out being
We
pretty
started
cool.
off with 80s music because we're kind of like, all right, let's pick some 80s bands.
And it has to be a video off of YouTube,
And
the live version, which actually was pretty cool because we'd seen bands that we've never seen live.
Yeah. And it was cool because they had their own rendition, kind of
Yes,
like, and it was
yes.
kind of like we were singing along with, oh, that's kind of nice. Oh, she's kind of hot. Remember that? She
Yes.
used to look
Oh,
like that?
Heart. We were talking
Yeah.
about Ann Wilson
Oh,
when she was
yes.
freaking 18.
Yeah, but then we're like, oh, well, look how bad this person, bad. And then I was like, hey, Paul, you know what? And I gave him a little trivia thing. I was like, do you happen to know
Who the best drummer in the world is?
who did you know Karen Carpenter was one of the best drummers in the
You-
world?
You started this.
Yeah, I did. And you were kind of like, really? Well, first of all, drums. Come on. It was like innocent.
It was crazy.
And then we started off, so we pulled up Karen Carpenter in the drum solos, and all of a sudden she's tearing it up.
She was, and they were. Well, and I had no idea that they had like a show.
Karen Carpenter drum solo.
They had like their own show. You know what I
like
mean?
A TV show?
Yeah, like a TV show.
Like a Donnie and Marie?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, they really
and
did.
so she was running around doing all these different instruments and all these different percussion things and going nuts, and it was awesome.
Was she meaty then?
Wow.
No.
Wow.
She was
She
was
Are
thin?
you insinuating was she anorexic? Is that what you're?
You're
She
like,
ended up anorexic.
was she porky? Is that what you're saying?
Was that bitch fat?
Oh, I didn't say that.
Was she-
Did she have
Did
meat
baby
on
got
her
back?
bones?
No, she looked okay. Like wait, here it is.
No, hold on. Back out of that one. Let's pick out another one.
No, that's a good one because she and her brother, they were an act.
Yeah, but let's do the solo first. Go where she's wearing a green shirt.
Let's see.
I want to get a haircut like him.
You do?
Yes.
I guess that's it. Yep. All right, so we get this is a 5-minute one, so we probably no go back. Let's do another one. I apologize.
So this is a television special
back,
from
please.
1976. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Here we go. So she's being announced.
Is this being recorded?
This is 1968.
Yeah. Well, he already checked that.
All right.
Hopefully.
These people play rock, roll, and they play jazz, and they play blues, you name it.
Who's this?
Right now, they're going to play Dancing in the Street. From
Oh,
California
from
State
Van
of Long
Halen?
Beach.
They were
the
just
Dick
getting
Carpenter
started.
Trio.
This is
Here they are.
1968. People were getting introduced to Karen Carpenter here. And she's on the drums, which is unheard of in 1968.
Well, when they started out, she was the drummer of the band, and after she became more and more popular with her singing voice, they forced her to quit the drums. But she loved percussion.
And she was cute, and here she is singing and playing the drums. Very impressive.
That takes a certain talent to
It
be able
does.
to sing and play drums.
Phil Collins does it too.
It's hard to do.
Anyway, when she goes through some solo thing, which is actually pretty awesome. So anyway, Sean totally surprised me with this. Did you know that she's an amazing drummer?
Well, I mean,
so we
because
found a whole bunch of videos.
there was a poll put out through Playboy where
I want to know what the real drummers think, though. I'm
Yeah.
not taking
hold
away
on.
that
let,
she's
let,
good.
let me get into
It's
this.
funny you say
so,
that.
So there was a poll put out by Playboy, and who was the best drummer on the planet?
Like
and
the top 10.
Yeah, and John Bonham was number 5, and John Bonham was number 6.
And he was butthurt.
And he was butthurt. He was kind of
That's bullshit. No woman can outdrum me.
Yeah, but it turns out she and Paul and I watched several videos, and she
Fucking
could tear it
amazing.
up. She
Oh, yeah.
is a true the true meaning of a percussionist.
Yes.
Now John Bonham is that's a different animal. John Bonham.
it is truly trying to compare apples and oranges.
Yeah,
really.
it is.
Well,
And
there's so many different styles of music and drumming that it's hard to compare. Like these guys that play for
like Rush,
like Slipknot, the guys that are just so damn fast and
Yep.
technical.
like Metallica, that drummer.
Well, like the polka.
I don't think
like
he's
the
very
polka,
good, but
polka band.
well, I'm not saying that those
What?
aren't bad drummers. But how do you compare? But how do you compare what she's doing? How do you compare what she's doing to what Neil Peart is doing?
Right.
For Rush.
Not even close.
That's what I mean. So who's better?
Right.
Technically better. Who's technically better?
Karen Carpenter.
I don't know. That's to be debated. I don't know.
She's awesome.
Buddy Rich.
Anyway, so then they transitioned to she was full-time singer with her brother, and they had a band, and that's when they came out with "On Top of the World Looking."
I'm on
Down
the
on
top of the
creation.
world looking
Yeah.
down on creation,
fantastic
and
song.
the only
And the other one, what's the other one?
expectation I can't find.
Birds in the trees,
a-
say your name when I
Oh.
come by.
Kiss
Oh,
me.
then-
Walk on by.
Oh my God,
Mr.
Mr. Producer, can you pull up some Karen Carpenter songs?
You guys
Just
are
like
staying out again.
me,
They long to be close to you.
Fag. All
See,
right.
okay, here we go. That's what happened. You just saw the genesis of what happened at the cabin.
Yeah.
We were
Rainy
singing.
Days and Mondays is probably their best.
We were singing Karen Carpenter, drinking. Well, he was
Well,
drinking.
can't smile for well, hell, wasn't that like Barry Manilow that did
That
that?
is Barry Manilow. Can't smile without you.
The Rainbow Connection.
This is close to you.
All right, skip it to the 4-minute, 3-minute increments ish.
You know what's interesting? My father was absolutely in love with Karen Carpenter. I know it.
Yeah. All right, so we hit Karen Carpenter, and we were watching like videos of her, and we're like, because that was the whole point we were doing. Let's do some live videos. So we're like,
Yes.
let's post some live videos of Karen Carpenter.
Yes.
And we pulled up this live video because we were following the progression of her
Career.
talent and her career. And towards the latter part, prior to her dying, she had a concert, and she was a little meatier. You could tell she was starting to get things under control a little bit, and she looked a little bit older. And they had created the set.
Yeah,
from
it was like a Roman
a
set.
Roman-themed pillars and naked Roman guys all out
yes.
there
So
with
the
their
camera-
junk hanging
so the
out.
camera's panning around the
And
stage.
this huge,
Yeah.
like, marble
Yes,
rock.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it goes
this-
by. Yes, it goes by this Roman statue, and
this
it goes
huge uncircumcised
by this penis.
junk wagon just sitting there on this.
And Sean and I are both like, really? And they're
Why
like,
is
oh my
Jeff
God.
not here?
We're like, we've got to send this to Jeff. We
Oh,
have
that's-
to send
you
this.
know,
The thing is,
You know what? Oh, hold on, stop. What really happened was Paul was looking at that. He looked at the penis. He's like, "Oh, I miss Jeff."
That is not what happened. That
I
is
think
fake.
that's exactly what
That
happened.
is fake news.
Well, the reason I'm saying
let's text Jeff.
that you. The thing
Aw.
is, I got that text like 5 times from Sean.
Oh my
Look
God.
at this penis.
Oh, we must
Paul
have.
was too drunk to do it.
We must have been. We were so obnoxious. We were so obnoxious, but we had a ball.
It was a
And then it
blast.
blended into ABBA,
Yeah.
and then it was Air Supply, and then it was. yeah,
sadly.
it was great. It
Well,
was great. It
we
was a
didn't
lot of
really
fun.
do that much of Air Supply, but we hit a lot of bands.
We did.
And we dug deep, and we were like extreme more than words, and we were like, I could totally do this, and I was like, well, yeah.
Then I pause it
Oh.
and screenshot it.
Oh my
no.
God, you did. That's a rather
Oh,
that's
that's
a rather
very detailed.
impressive screenshot.
Are you serious? Is that stream?
I found that.
Oh, I was
okay,
like,
you
God.
jackass.
Bless.
I was like, you guys are gay. Look
Because
at that.
it was dark.
He's
it was
got
a dark.
even got the pubes and
Oh,
everything.
really?
in there.
Okay.
Oh my God.
You're
You
pulling
think
out-
he was in there with a little chisel doing? Hey, right,
Can you
let me
imagine
do
the
this.
guy back there in the whatever century that was, just with a chisel and a hammer trying to like get that penis just right? Oh my God, he's not circumcised. He's not circumcised. You got to make a brand new statue.
No, what's crazy is there was a guy standing there, and he's looking at him chiseling while he's doing that.
Well, that was Michelangelo's David. So
Michelangelo, what a joke! All he did was make pictures of men
then paint the
naked.
Sistine
Yeah.
Chapel.
Oh, that too. Yeah, I guess so.
Yes.
I saw that. It was amazing. Yeah. I just name dropped me and
I
Michelangelo.
just trumped.
This is brag moment.
All right,
right,
so
all right.
we
Are
end
we-
up watching the.
Are we done with the Colorado story or not?
Hold on. So we take your ass, and the producer's looking at me.
we got
Oh my gosh.
pulled out of the snow by the firefighters. You guys
We
didn't even
did.
We
tell that
did even
part.
so we wake up the next morning prior to taking Jeff to Denver. We called up. Paul's kind of like, hey Paul, what's the best? Paul calls the fire department. Hey, what's the best way to get out of being stuck in
Yeah,
the
because
snow?
we were like calling a tow truck from Denver or Colorado Springs would have been
Right.
like $600 bucks, man.
Yeah,
Right.
that'll be $5,000.
And I was like, no, let's call the fire department right down the street. Well,
They did it.
and they came in 20 minutes. Boom, they were bored. They must have been bored.
Oh yeah.
They're like these poor city slickers.
Oh yeah. It was like these stupid men.
Yeah, and then he's like, because you were in the rental, we had the rental, and he was like, just so you know, half the car might get yanked apart.
Yeah.
And the back bumper's gonna get ripped off.
So the back of the
are you
Expedition,
good with that? Are you
they're-
good with that?
see, on the
So
front.
Sean was pacing.
The front.
He
I
was like,
was.
I
I
can't
was
do
loud.
this.
The
I
nerves.
can't do this.
But on the front of the car, they had these hooks that designed so you could be pulled. On the back, they didn't have the hook. However, they did.
They
It was behind
did.
a secret plastic little thing.
Dude, the guy walks up and pulls this tab off the
Fucking
back
thing
of the car.
off and then-
I had no idea it was there.
They got this little come along. It's like, just pulled us out. Paul putting on the reverse.
Well, I
winch.
got worried when he started doing the winch and the fire truck started inching
Moving.
forward.
It
I was
did.
Like, I was like, we're fucked.
Yep.
All right. Well, we didn't get through nearly any of the topics that we're trying to get
Well,
through.
we
But that's
We
all
got
right.
through Colorado.
We did relevant tangents off of the Colorado trip, but I want to talk about my freaking Kentucky thing next podcast.
Well,
right.
it's the first half of the April 17th, 2024 podcast. So glad to be back. Cheers, guys.
Yeah,
Cheers,
dude,
cheers, cheers.
Yeah, big cheers.
I missed you guys.
Yeah, big
Almost.
time.
Thank you, Mr. Producer. Dudes like us, I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Jeff.